Hey everybody, welcome to the Joy of Concrete. I'm Mr. Concrete, and this is Ratgirl.
Hi.
We are going to be making a new mold today. You know, we've been away for a little bit, and we just want to say we're back. I think we're back. We've been so busy. We've been so busy expanding, making new molds, a lot of new mold making, and now it's time to start showing you some of the things that we've been making and hopefully hearing back from you on the kinds of things you want to make. Ratgirl is going to be helping.
Yes.
With videos, with content, with mold making, with exploration of concrete in general. We just need help. You can't do it alone. You need a team.
We heard your demands. We heard you guys on Instagram and the YouTube comments, and we know you miss us, so here we are.
We want to keep doing what we're doing. Thanks everyone for hanging in there, and here we go. Ooh. Let's do it. So we are going to go just gray. This is going to be this is a cool mold. This is going to be a parking curb incense burner with some cool little concrete details on it. But parking curbs should be gray. So now we're going to get some, we're going double.
Yummy.
We've got a lot of smells going on. This is a kimchi container, and it very much smells like kimchi. And then sriracha water. You know, there's so many containers in the world that you can find on the streets, just out on the streets.
Yeah.
And this is a good opportunity to reuse those containers and reuse them again and again and again. I'm not an advocate for creating more containers in the world, but there are already so many just out there floating around that use them if you can.
I agree. And it's kind of hard to peel these things off. I'd rather leave them on.
Yeah, I've got no time for that.
Spicy water.
Spicy sriracha water. So mixing gray matter. One thing that's come up is a little bit of feedback from people talking about when you're mixing solid colors, how do you get a super clean casting with no voids, but also no spots. Sometimes you'll notice on a casting there'll be small little speckles of I don't even know what to say. They're just kind of lighter. They're shade lighter. Yeah. And that's pretty normal. If you were to look at a building or a floor that's been cast or sidewalks, you'll notice it's not uniform at all. But one of the things that we really strive for with gray matter is to have a material that's predictable, super strong, and as clean as possible with what we can do for castings. So I think, we do a ton of testing. We're casting hundreds of pounds of concrete a day, all the time. We're always casting concrete. And there's a few tricks. And one of the biggest tricks, what's one of the biggest tricks, Ratgirl?
I think it's letting it sit in the bowl, the object, for a little bit before you cast it after you mix it. Right when you think it's at the right water level, you let it sit for a bit. Maybe 5-10 minutes.
You're spot on. You're spot on.
We don't want spots.
Because we don't want spots. How would you say we don't want spots en français?
On veut pas de petits points. Des petits...
Points?
Moi, je pourrais dire des points ou des pois. Like little peas. Kind of does look like little dots. But it's a good question. Not everything translates. This looks good.
Yeah, this is looking good. So we're about the stage. How can you tell it looks good?
I can tell because, you could basically make a shape out of it if you just wanted to. You can make a ball of it, that's how I know it. It's a bit Play-Doh-y. You don't want it to be too liquidy.
Yeah.
If you add a bit more water, like literally a drip, you're in a dangerous level.
A touch wet.
Yeah, but then what you do is you just let it sit a little bit before you pour it.
Making great castings really has so much to do with the stage we're doing right now. I know people get frustrated with us and be like, fast forward the mixing, please, fast forward. I don't need to see this. The reality is you need to see this. I guarantee you're not as good at mixing concrete as you think you are. And you need to see what concrete should be like. And This is the stage you need to stop. This isn't ready. Don't cast this. It just came together. if you were making bread, you wouldn't mix the dough of your bread and be like, bake the bread.
Yeah, you let it chill a little.
Yeah, bread's super involved. Let it chill. It's got to really chill. So we're gonna let this chill.
Yeah, I guess that's something we have to just say more. Just gotta let it chill, guys.
Please, let it chill. So we got a few new kits coming down the pipes. This is one of many.
Oh yeah.
If you could make a kit for anything, let's just pretend we're not right now. You know, we're working around the idea that you might be working in a really small space, and you know, we're not jumping. We want this to be accessible still. So our molds have sizes that have that in mind of being like someone working in their kitchen, working in their office, maybe a small space. But let's say there's no limitations. What's a thing? What would be a fun thing to make a mold of?
I'd like a little pot. I know we have a little planter pot, but a little toothbrush holder, but that could also be used. But maybe a little vase for some little flowers I find on my walk home. That could be fun. A little vase.
I don't think you could ever make enough vases and pots.
Yeah.
They're so useful, and they might seem boring, but I don't know. You can never get enough of them.
Yeah, you're always gonna find something to put it in.
You know what? We didn't put any pigment, so here's a fun thing to talk about. When concrete, its natural color, you would normally think, what would be your gut? If you didn't know anything about concrete, hadn't worked for it as long as you've worked with it, what would you say the normal color of concrete is with no pigment?
I would say it's anthracite, like the streets, like just a dark gray, depending on where you live though. The roads are different.
Yeah. The first thing that I thought was really funny that I learned about concrete is that if you don't mix pigment into it, it starts off pretty tan color. It's gray, but it's quite a warm gray. That anthracite, that kind of less toned, more kind of a gray that's leaning blue or cool, happens primarily from sun bleaching. So we're gonna cheat a little bit, and I said we weren't gonna add pigment. We're actually gonna add a little bit of pigment. I'm gonna add just a bit of black. It's almost nothing.
Yeah,
but
not a lot.
I'm gonna add a little bit of black and a little bit of white, because I just want this to be, I want it to look like a curb, like you'd see on the street skating.
Yeah. Could get a little tech deck too. This could be more than just an incense holder.
You could 100% tech deck this.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, what if I added too much pigment?
I think it's gonna lighten up, we know that.
Yeah, that's true. I think we're okay.
Yeah. Yeah, important to remember it's always gonna lighten up a little bit from what you see when it's still wet. So, new series. Ratgirl, you've been taking on a lot of our video making. We're still gonna make videos together, and I'm still gonna make videos on my own, and you're gonna make videos on your own. And we're gonna field questions from people, and it's gonna be very. We're just gonna try to help people with concrete more than we have been. I think we're gonna succeed. Yeah.
But one of the things that you mentioned was the Will It Concrete kind of mini series, if you may. Will It Concrete. What would you will it concrete? What would you want to try to use as an aggregate in concrete?
Ooh, that's a good question. I know you did ramen. You've done a lot of fun stuff. Could be fun to put Cheetos in there. Have you done that?
Cheetos. Flamin' hot Cheetos.
But they're so hard to find these days with the chip shortage.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Where are the chips?
It's amazing that a bag of Cheetos is like $5 now.
Oh, it's more than that.
Really?
There's inflation. There's people reselling them. There's a market now.
Market for Flamin' hot Cheetos?
Oh yeah. So maybe when the prices change for that, I could get some no-name.
Get no-name ones.
No-name Cheetos. Won't be the same.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get a skim coat of concrete, kind of, because we're doing a solid color.
Yeah.
It gives us a little bit more freedom to manipulate the mold. I don't have to worry about blurring our pattern and any of the cool swirls that we might be making, because there's not going to be any swirls. So what I'm doing is I'm rubbing into all the edges that might collect air. I'm rubbing it in because when I rub it in, I break the surface tension on the mold, and surface tension is why air bubbles want to stick to things. So if we can get rid of that surface tension, it means we'll have an easier time releasing air. And what if we get a perfectly clean casting?
Yeah.
It's wishful thinking, and probably not actually, wouldn't really be super representative of concrete, because concrete is supposed to have air in it. It's a normal part of concrete's composition is air. It's needed. It's needed for freeze-thaw cycles, even though we don't have to worry about this freezing or thawing. If we're actually making a real parking curb, if it didn't have air in it in the winter, when everything freezes, it would be more likely to crack. Sucks. What if we make it so that we like don't have to do any finishing work on it?
That would be awesome. That is always the goal, everyone.
Yeah, I'm lazy. Everyone's lazy. Everyone's lazy and doesn't really want to do work. Especially, it's very difficult to do work to aid yourself in the future. But when I'm working with concrete, I'm constantly putting it in the context of how can I help future Mr. Concrete? How can I help future Ratgirl? And one of the ways is keeping your mold clean, getting this as level as possible.
Yeah.
Just making life easy.
Make sure your table is super flat too. You never know.
Yeah. And you know what? If your table's not flat, take a book.
Yeah.
Put on a book. Put on a little board. I've got.
Oh yeah, we do have that.
Yeah, we've got this little piece of HDPE plastic. Then you can put this up on here, and I'm like, oh, this isn't quite level. Grab one of Mom's butter knives, slide it under. That's a shim. That's a shim at home, and boom, we're level.
There you go.
Hey everyone, we're back. So you're looking at this, and you're like, why is there a tub up here? What is this for? We're kind of doing an accelerated video where we're popping this out in about 4 hours, and we were also talking about spotting on concrete. Spotting on concrete it's just uneven hydration of the components of the concrete inside. So one of the ways we tried to deal with that is giving our mix a period of resting, so that gives them a bit of time to hydrate little lumps, anything that could be lumpy in the mix. It gives that time to hydrate, and then when we mix it again, we're breaking up those lumps. Hopefully they've hydrated a bit, and then we break them up. Covering it, this can do a few things. We're holding moisture in. We want that moisture to stay with the concrete, because your concrete, if you remember, we've talked about this before, your concrete's not drying, your concrete is curing. It's undergoing a chemical reaction of calcification that makes your concrete harder, but it needs that water. If the water escapes, it sucks, because it means that there's going to be cement material in your mix that isn't hydrating and isn't actually curing. So the longer you can keep your concrete hydrated, the better. We're doing this to hopefully speed up the cure time so we can make a video in one day. If I was doing something and I wanted it to be super strong and really tight colors and just really great, I'd recommend leaving it in for 24 hours. Leave it in for the full day. But with our super cool advanced mixed gray matter, we can pop this out in 4 hours. So here we go. We're gonna pull off our top tub. Here, get rid of that. You want to take the wet cloth.
Big reveal.
Big reveal. So I put this little frame on here because this was wet concrete. The wet cloth was to hold moisture. The frame is to keep the wet cloth from sitting on the concrete, because if it sat on there, it would stick down and we get a weird texture here and messy.
Looks good.
I think it is good.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Get rid of our little plate. Get rid of that.
Good wipe it now.
Yeah, I'll get a little wipe. So, here we go. This looks nice. It's all stuck in the mold. So I'm just going to gently kind of release our edge.
It was a perfect fill.
Cool.
It won't require too much sanding. You could already see that.
Ooh. There it is. So here's our little curb mold. So we've got, I actually don't think it's you're seeing some spots on it right now, but that's actually just moisture. That's moisture in the concrete. Yeah, that's going to come out. Really clean casting.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's focused.
Are we seeing,
you guys see that?
Is that focused?
That's us.
Okay, try it out.
We've got incense. We've got a lighter. Boom.
Got a nice little lean there.
What do you guys think this smells like? We'll let you guess. You need to see the fire.
Think it's ready?
Yeah, blow it.
Oh, no, hit it again. So this isn't even technically incense. This is...
The mask. You can't blow through the mask,
I know,
guys.
we're wearing masks. It's good to wear masks when you're working on concrete. You don't want dust. You never want dust in your mouth, in your nose, in your lungs.
Yeah.
So we're masked up. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Woo!
Whoa,
Party.
Whoa, whoa. So, thanks for watching along, and you know, stay tuned. Keep a watch out on our Instagram, our newsletter, YouTube, to see when we release this mold. It's going to be soon. A new kit coming your way, and more videos from
Ratgirl.
Ratgirl and Mr. Concrete.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.